Hello, I'm Mayor Gene Carey, and welcome to the Mayor's Corner on your Lewisville information source, City Cable LV-TV. My guest this month, Assistant Fire Chief Darrell Brown. I've always admired firefighters, and today, especially impressed with the excellent Lewisville Fire Department, so it's a pleasure to welcome Darrell to the show today. Darrell, I want to thank you for joining me today, and before we get started on some topics that I want to address, tell me a little bit about yourself and what made you become a firefighter, and how long you've been with the Lewisville Fire Department, et cetera, like that.
Sure, Mayor. Thank you for having me today. I started out as a volunteer firefighter back in my hometown. I was originally from South Lake, Texas, and when it was just a little country town. And the joke was there were two horses in the town, and I had one of them. And my dad was a volunteer firefighter, so I watched him go and serve the community and the citizens, and it just kind of grew on me. And as I went through high school and was a volunteer firefighter, I decided that's what my career was going to be. That was my choice. I wanted to serve my fellow man and pursued it. And was fortunate enough back in 1983 to come to work for the City of Lewisville, which was much different back in 1983. I was number 36 on the fire department seniority list at that point in time, and of course we've grown, but I have been with the city now for a little over 25 years and promoted up through the ranks. You know, I have a beautiful wife at home and 4 daughters, and you know they know what pretty much everything there is to know about our fire department, and they're always with me and see the radio and hear it, and you know they know, well, Dad's gone again because there's a fire.
Part of it.
Yes, sir.
Well, what would you say is the best part of your job?
Well, probably the best part of my job is just getting to help those that are in need, and it's just a true calling. I mean, you know, some folks are business executives, and that's their calling, and they do a great job. You know, others are doctors and attorneys and different things, but mine truly was being a firefighter. And when people, and you know, I borrow this phrase from my boss, but when people are truly having the worst day of their lives, we get to be there, and we're trained, and it's our best day to try to help them get through whatever trouble they're having.
Yeah, and I've been out there and seen y'all in action. I know that's true. You know, our fire department's real big. We've got 6 stations around town. How many members do we have in the Lewisville Fire Department? And essentially, how many calls do we have a month? I know we get a lot of them, but
Yes, sir. Our department has grown from, as I said, 36 back in 1983. There were we had 37 people there. We're at 127 people now, you know, sworn positions on our fire department. And then we have with our support staff, you know, we're close to 150 by the time you count our reserves, which are a very important part of our department that help. And you know, they don't fight fire anymore, but they're still modeled after kind of the volunteers, so they come in and help us. So about 150. The Lewisville Fire Department, as the city has grown and the population has increased, so has our calls, and we're up to, we average about 750 calls a month now.
When I first came to Lewisville, we had a volunteer fire department when
Yes,
I
sir.
first moved here.
Yes,
So now I mentioned we've got 6 firehouses. That brings me to my first topic today, and that's Station 7, our city's newest firehouse. It's going to be open soon. And where's Station 7 located?
Mayor, Station 7 is located at 1070 Texas Street. It's at very close to Business 121 and Interstate 35. There was an old Owens restaurant that operated there back in the 80s and maybe early 90s, and that property was vacant. And that's where we chose to put that 7th station.
Darrell, why did we need that other station, and what services are going to be operating out of there?
Well, Station 7 is going to house our ladder truck there, and the reason that we needed that station is as Lewisville's grown and our population has expanded, especially to the east, and as we continue to grow in that direction, our only true ladder truck was located at Firehouse 1, which was up on Valley Parkway and Main Street. And that was a long way for them to drive all the way across town. And I mentioned we only have 1 ladder truck. We also have the 1 battalion chief. So at Station 7 there, if you look at that location on a map, it's pretty close to the center of our town. And with the support of you, Mr. Mayor, and the council and city staff, we were able to secure that property and build this very nice firehouse that's going to be there. But it's going to enhance our response with our battalion chief and our ladder company immensely throughout all parts of our coverage area, the city limits, and also our Castle Hills area and other places like that.
Well, now you touched on it, the location.
Yes, sir.
That's going to give you pretty good access to get in and out. You touched just a little bit on that. Do you like that location? You think it's going to work good? We're
very happy to be in that location because, once again, when you look, you've got Business 121. You can go north, south towards Grapevine. You can go out north towards the Colony, and where it kind of turns and goes east. We can jump up on Interstate 35 and go north or south there. We can go across on Bel Air Avenue very quickly to get to the southwest part of our town. So we're really excited about the location, yes, sir.
Well, I've had some people ask me, will it be difficult to respond just because of the traffic on 121? How will we handle that?
Well, to somebody doesn't know, 121 does back up, and I understand their frustration or their concern there. However, through our city traffic division and through the Opticom system that we have, we will be able to turn the lights at that intersection all green whatever direction we're going to be traveling. The lights will turn green so that the traffic can go ahead and move out and get out of our way so that we can respond safely.
Y'all know what you're doing.
Well, yes, sir. That's why we work for you.
That's right. Now, we touched a little bit on ladder company. Daryl, what is a true ladder truck? I mean, what's the difference between, say, it and a truck with just a ladder on it? Explain a little bit about what people ask about. What's a ladder truck?
We have in our department we have 3 ladders, if you will. 2 are what we call a quint, and they're basically a quint says it's a 5-function vehicle. But they have a straight ladder that runs from the back to the front, and they're 75 feet in length. Our ladder truck that we are going to move to Station 7, it's a tower ladder, and it's a center mount, and not to get too technical, but it's got a bucket on the back of it that people will see as it drives around. It's got dual wheels on the back. It's very massive, but it's like a huge rolling toolbox, and it's got all the different things that we need that we can't carry on our fire engines or our quints. It carries additional tools, more specialized tools, and those firefighters that ride it are specialized and know how to operate those. And they respond to all of our motor vehicle accidents where somebody might be trapped inside the vehicle. They respond to, if an automobile or something hits a home and we have any kind of collapse, they would respond. Certainly to any kind of building fire, they're going to be there.
Now, these are very expensive, these ladder trucks are. So how often does a ladder truck respond?
Well, last year our ladder truck responded to over 1,000 calls, and you say, well, that might not be very many when in our city we made over 9,000, but that's 1,000 calls that required that very specialized piece of apparatus, and that gets more and more each day, and each month the calls needs are rising.
Well, now the chief engineer will also be housed at the fire station, or the firehouse, what we call this one. Why is it important to have a dedicated fire engineer working on those vehicles? And you touched a little bit about being specialized.
Well, the vehicles are very specialized, and we have a chief engineer. His name is Edgar Covey, and he has multiple certifications and very specialized certifications as an emergency vehicle technician. And the EVT certification assist him and give him the necessary qualifications and certifications to work on fire apparatus, which a normal mechanic might not have, because that also certifies him that if something were to go wrong when men are working and that actual piece of apparatus is pumping water through, or whatever, and something were to go wrong, Chief Covey is specialized where he can come in and get it going before anything bad were to maybe happen to there, and also keep it on the road. I mean, as you mentioned, our equipment is very costly, and we try to make our equipment last, 12 to 14 years minimum before it goes into a reserve status. So as busy as the Lewisville Fire Department is today, that we need that dedicated person to working on it. And actually, he has, one assistant even,
Now, who are our engineers?
Our chief engineer is Edgar Covey, as I said, and then he has a mechanic, is engineer Stacy Snap. And they both, they're two of the busiest men I know, because we have a lot of apparatus that they are keeping on the road for us.
Now, who else is going to be housed at the firehouse?
The Station 7 will also house Assistant Chief Tim Tittle, my counterpart. Tim will be housed there. It's a very natural move for him to go there, because the battalion chief that's going to be housed there, Chief Covey, all report to Tim. They're in the supervisory chain, if you will. But that will also provide one assistant chief on each side of I-35, so that in the event of a big disaster and something were to happen, we've already got an assistant chief on each side of the freeway.
Bell tower. The council wanted that bell tower real bad. Tell us a little bit about that bell tower very briefly.
Well, that bell tower is also known as a watchtower, Mayor, and what that comes from is that historically firehouses would have a watchtower, and there would be somebody posted up there on fire watch for the whole community, and they would have a watch rattle, and if they saw smoke or any fire, or one of the other towers would signal them throughout, they would alarm the volunteer fire companies to respond to a fire. Sometimes, and then as time went by, they got away from the watch rattle, and they've installed the bell there, and they would sound the bell for all the volunteers to come to the fire hall, because they knew they had a fire.
High tech in that day.
Yes, sir.
In that day. No fire poles, so.
No, sir. No fire poles at this firehouse. It's a one-story firehouse, and it's just it's easier on people's knees.
I guess one of the real important questions that we're getting now is, when's the station going to be ready to open?
We're anxiously anticipating opening it mid-May. We are in the punch-out stages of this firehouse now, going through making sure everything's just as we want it for you guys and for all of our citizens to be proud of. And then we'll begin moving in furniture and getting it all set up. But we hope to respond to the first calls there sometime in mid-May.
Public safety is one of our most important services the city provides. That's what you guys do, and the police and everything. I know the new station is going to help make our city and our residents a whole lot safer than they already are. I want to talk a little bit about some other things that the fire department does, because there's some other things and that they do to keep people safe, and not only in Lewisville, but everywhere else too. First, we need to take a short break.
Hey kid, what's shaking? Besides me.
Dad, there's something wrong with the fridge.
What?
Ooh, a snack.
Got energy hogs in your house? Now you have the power to do something about them. Log on to energyhog.org. Because nobody likes an energy hog.
Hey, they got Charlie. Who cares?
There's a lot of talk out on the street about his mother, your mother, their mother. But in the end, is anyone really even thinking about them?
Hello, little prince. Mama, what we gonna do today?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Tarzan, Lord of the Jungle, King of the Apes, father of boy. He knows what it takes to be a dad. You go for a ride, you take a swim, you hang out. All it takes is time. Hey, it doesn't take a hero, but it takes a man to be a dad.
Welcome back to the Mayor's Corner on City Cable LV-TV, your source for Lewisville news. I'm Mayor Gene Carey, and today we're talking with Assistant Fire Chief Darrell Brown. Now, as I mentioned before the break, our Lewisville firefighters are sometimes called away from Lewisville and called to help people outside of our area. Now, we recently took part in this task force responding to some grass fires in North Texas, and were you a part of that, and what happened?
Yes, sir. I was a part of that. Last Thursday was a very, very bad fire condition day. We had very low humidity and very high winds, and the counties to our north and west were really in grave danger that day. There were over 20 fires that broke out that day, and many of them consumed thousands of acres. The Lewisville Fire Department, along with all the neighboring fire departments in Denton County, were called upon to form a task force and go assist. And I went as one of the chiefs of the task force to go and help out our neighbors to the north and the west.
How many Lewisville firefighters went up there?
There were 7 of us from Lewisville, but through the Denton County Fire Chiefs Organization, we were able to take 9 brush trucks, 2 fire engines, 1 big water tanker, and then 2 chiefs went. And we went to the staging area in Decatur, Texas, and then we were split up there. The crew that I was overseeing, we went to Montague, Texas, and was assigned to the county judge up there and helped the local fire department around the city of Montague, St. Joe, and Forestburg. And those fires totaled over 25,000 acres up there. But it was great cooperation. The other half of our Denton County crew went into Jack County, up towards Bryson, Texas, and worked up there.
All to save lives.
Yes, sir.
And help people out. While they were there, you were working alongside of some other fire departments or for other firefighters from different departments. Is that an easy thing to do? Do we all fight fires essentially the same way each city, or?
Well, we're very fortunate, and with the cooperation that we've gotten from our city staff here, we do train together with other surrounding community departments and other municipalities in this area in Denton County. And through our chiefs organization, we're very forward thinking, and so it's not too difficult because we all know what the mission is. And although there may be some slight tactical things that one department might do differently, in a situation like that, we all pull together and work because we're there in that situation to help minimize the loss that those folks have already suffered.
Yeah. Now, this isn't the first time this task force has been sent to different parts of Texas, I know. And what are some other incidents that we've responded to? Well,
back in 2006, we went, January of 2006, I believe it was, we went to Ringgold and Oconah when the little community of Ringgold, again up in Montague County, was almost wiped completely out due to a wildland fire. In March of that same year, we had the big Amarillo Panhandle complex fire, and we sent a task force from Denton County up and wound up working in Canadian, Texas on that deployment there. Most recently, prior to this one last week, was Hurricane Ike.
Right.
And the different hurricanes that's coming to the Gulf, we sent ambulances down to assist moving patients many times. Hurricane Ike, we took a task force of 55 personnel with multiple fire apparatus down to essentially become the fire department in parts of Orange and Galveston County.
You don't know how proud I was of you guys going down there and doing that. Really made our city look good, made our fire department look good. But I know that you weren't so much concerned about looking good and going down again, helping people and saving lives. Yeah. Now, well, y'all are away doing that. Do we still have good protection here in the city?
Oh yes, sir. There's never a moment goes by that we don't have complete coverage here in our local jurisdiction. The city was covered at all times through hiring backup personnel or whatever the case may be. Everything was fully staffed here.
Denton County's ahead of the curve, aren't they?
Yes, sir. Very much so.
Well, Darrell, how does it feel when you, like you said, you got 4 daughters at home and a wife? How does it feel when you have to go away from home? You got to make a sacrifice when you get up and leave and everything. that's a big thing. How does it feel to do that?
Well, it's just you know, when you're called to do something, you really don't think about the sacrifice too much. I mean, yeah, my wife and daughters and every firefighter's wife and family, you know, they're the ones stuck at home while we're out, you know, trying to protect or minimize some damage or you know, save something of value to somebody. But it just kind of goes when we raise our right hand and you know, take the oath of office, and when, you know, you pin the badge on us, and it kind of goes with the territory.
Residents, when they see the firefighters coming to help them, how do they react?
The residents we encountered in the other counties, when they look up and they see, you know, a Lewisville Fire Department vehicle, and we're up in Montague County, they're a little bit shocked, and can't believe that, you know, we would come and help them. And when we tell them, we're here to help you, and we'd like to think that, you know, if the tables were turned, that we could count on you to come help us. But they're very appreciative. They're very relieved to see, you know, the fire department like we have, and we roll in with the apparatus that we do. They know we're there to take care of.
Got that reputation of being
Yes, sir.
very, very good. You know, before we end the show, let's switch gears just a little bit. You know, summer's coming up on us.
Yeah.
That means the lake's going to start getting crowded with boat, you know, and we've had a fatality already. And what involvement does the Lewisville Fire Department have with the lake and lake safety?
Well, our fire department currently, we have 2 boats and a wave runner stationed at the lake at all times at one of the local marinas, ready for response. And Firehouse number 4, out on the north side of town, they man our boats. And if we cover the Lewisville Lake, the part of it that's within our Lewisville city limits, but then through a contractual agreement, we cover the entire lake for fire and EMS service. Mm-hmm. So those guys at Station 4 and those boats, they get utilized quite a bit during the summer months. And it's, you know, just another part of one of the services that we provide to our community.
Safety. You find a lot of boaters don't have maybe as much respect for their boat or have as much respect for the lake as they should have. Why sometimes they get into trouble. You know, the lake had a reputation one time of being not being safe. Well, the lake is not safe one way or the other. It's because the people that use it. Do you find that maybe people just don't respect water like they should, or the boat itself?
Yes, sir. People, I think, you know, that many people have a nice recreational boat, and they look forward to going out and taking their family, but they may not do quite the homework that they need to and know the lake. They may not know the you know, is their equipment truly in good operating condition? And those are just some little safety checks that people need to really think about before they, you know, go out on the lake. The lake is a beautiful lake. Lake Lewisville offers, you know, is home to over 3,000 visitors each year. It's a great place to come and visit. We just need people to maybe do a little bit of inventory and make sure, you know, a little safety check before they come.
If everybody wore a life vest, Darrell, would it make it safer?
Certainly it would make it safer, Mayor. Where people get in trouble or don't think about maybe is unfortunately accidents do occur on the water like they do on our roadways. Mm-hmm. And when it occurs in the water, if you've already got a flotation device on of some sort, that may be the thing that keeps you afloat, rather than as soon as you hit the water, you're in a fight for your life situation because you've got to find something to hold on to, especially if you were injured. So yes.
Tell me real briefly about our Vested for Life program, because I think that's great.
Our Vested for Life program, Mayor, is a program that was started several years ago, and it's we go out and solicit donations from very large department stores and boating supplies, and they give us life vests. And we will in turn go out and put those on kiddos that we see out at our lake shores and out in the water that don't have any life vests, because we're just trying to make sure that they do have some flotation, because they may not be the greatest swimmer yet, and we want them to be able to stay afloat and have fun in our lake.
It's more than just a job, isn't it?
Oh yes, sir, it is.
Well, Darrell, I want to thank you for joining me today, and I want you to pass. You know how I feel about my firefighters. I've
Yes,
said
sir.
that over the years, and I want you to pass that on to them. Terrific job that they do. I mean, this has been proven over and over and over. Not just here in Lewisville, like you said. You go out into out past our community and give aid to other counties and stuff. And bad time. Who would have thought we were going to have hurricanes and stuff a few years ago? So, I want to thank you for joining me today and continue the programs that we've got going and expand on them, and getting excited about 7 opening up. I'm really excited about that. Well, thanks to all of you for joining us today. The Mayor's Corner is just one of the many excellent programs produced by City Cable LV TV, your best source for Lewisville news and for information. For a complete list of LV TV programs, visit our website at www.cityoflewisville.com, and please join us again next month for another edition of the Mayor's Corner. I want to thank you for joining me today. Thank you very much.
For a schedule of the LV TV Cable Channel 15 programs, please call James Kunke, Community Relations Manager at 972-219-3726, or log on to our website at www.cityoflewisville.com.